The wall that shines. A 400-kilometer wall, but not of stone, of sunlight, of silence, of raw power. In Inner Mongolia, China is building the world's longest solar belt, designed to power cities, fight deserts, and reshape the energy game. It already produces more than entire countries, and by 2030 it aims to generate 100 gigawatts. Subscribe now, because only by watching to the end, you'll see why this solar Great Wall might become the blueprint for the planet. What is the Solar Great Wall? Stretching across 400 kilometers of barren desert, the Solar Great Wall is one of China's boldest energy projects to date. But don't let the poetic name fool you. This is not a symbolic wall. It's a functional, power-generating superstructure designed to supply up to 100 gigawatts of solar energy by 2030. That's more electricity than the entire nation of Belgium consumes in a year. The project is located in Inner Mongolia, a sparsely populated region with intense sunlight, vast open spaces, and proximity to major transmission corridors. In other words, the perfect storm for scalable solar energy. The wall itself isn't a continuous structure, but rather a belt of connected solar farms, stretching across hundreds of kilometers like a shimmering black river in the sand. As of today, over 5.4 gigawatts of solar panels are already operational, enough to power over 5 million homes. But this is just the beginning. China plans to install dozens of interconnected solar hubs across this belt, all feeding into ultra-high voltage transmission lines. These lines carry clean power to Beijing, Tianjin, and even export nodes beyond the country's borders. Why build it as a wall? Because the symbolic and functional parallels to the Great Wall of China are powerful. One protected the empire's borders. This one could protect its energy future. It's also part of China's Desert Power Corridor initiative, an ambitious plan to reclaim deserts through solar and wind, turning dead zones into clean power zones. But most importantly, the Solar Great Wall is about scale. It shows the world what happens when a country commits fully, not partially, to renewable energy. While other nations debate over gigawatts, China is building solar belts the size of countries, and it's doing it fast. Why Inner Mongolia? You might wonder, why build a solar mega project in Inner Mongolia? At first glance, this remote region seems like an unlikely place for innovation. But in reality, Inner Mongolia offers the perfect conditions for a solar revolution. First, there's space. Vast, flat, and sparsely populated landscapes mean fewer obstacles and low land costs. No dense cities, no farmland conflicts, just open skies and open land. Second, there's the sun. With 2,800 plus hours of sunlight per year, Inner Mongolia ranks among China's sunniest regions. That's more solar exposure than some parts of California. Third, and most critically, the region is a key part of China's west-to-east power transmission project. This means solar energy generated in the desert can be transmitted directly to high-demand urban hubs, like Beijing and Tianjin, using ultra-high voltage or UHV lines. These lines are the electrical highways of the future, delivering clean power across thousands of kilometers with minimal loss. But there's more. Inner Mongolia already has a deep industrial base for energy infrastructure. It's home to massive wind farms, coal reserves, and now solar giants. This makes logistics easier. Factories, workers, and materials are already in place. It's also a climate solution. The region suffers from severe desertification. By covering land with solar panels and combining projects with reforestation and agrivoltaics, the solar wall actually fights back against dust storms and soil erosion. In other words, Inner Mongolia isn't just ideal, it's essential. This region is the launchpad for China's clean energy dominance, balancing energy security, environmental protection, and geopolitical ambition all in one sweep. And the world is watching. Because if China can transform a hostile, windswept desert into the backbone of its energy grid, the old argument that renewables are too limited might never hold again. How it fights desertification. Most people think of solar farms as power sources, but in Inner Mongolia they've become something much more, a weapon against the desert. China's Solar Great Wall isn't just about energy, it's a bold ecological strategy. The region is plagued by desertification, a creeping environmental crisis. Years of deforestation, overgrazing, and climate change have turned fertile land into dry, dusty wastelands. This desert expansion threatens farmland, villages, and even Beijing, which suffers from annual dust storms. So how does a solar farm fight that? It starts with wind control. Solar panels, when arranged strategically, break the wind's momentum. They act as barriers that slow down sand-carrying gusts, preventing soil erosion and the movement of dunes. Next comes shade. The panels block sunlight from directly hitting the ground, preserving moisture and lowering soil temperatures. Perfect conditions for replanting native grasses and shrubs. Then there's the innovation: agrivoltaics. China is pioneering systems where solar panels and agriculture work together. Crops are planted between rows of panels, benefiting from shade and reduced evaporation. In Inner Mongolia, this means the land is not only generating power, it's regenerating life. Some pilot zones have reported a 35% increase in soil stability and the return of native plant species. Others show reduced surface temperatures and fewer dust storms in surrounding areas. And that's not all. Solar operations bring infrastructure, water lines, service roads, and monitoring stations. These double as support systems for environmental restoration projects, accelerating regrowth across the desert belt. So while the world debates clean energy's land use, China is showing that solar farms can be multifunctional ecosystems: power plants above ground, restoration labs below. In short, the solar wall doesn't just generate megawatts, it builds green shields. And as deserts shrink and plants return, China is rewriting what solar infrastructure can truly do. Powering Beijing with the sun. A desert solar farm powering a megacity over 1,000 kilometers away? That sounds like a logistical nightmare. But in China, it's already happening. The Solar Great Wall isn't just about producing clean energy. It's about delivering it where it matters. And nowhere matters more than Beijing, a city of over 21 million people and one of the world's biggest energy consumers. Here's how it works. The power generated across Inner Mongolia's solar belt is fed directly into ultra-high voltage, or UHV, transmission lines. These aren't your typical power lines. They can carry electricity over vast distances with minimal energy loss. UHV technology is one of China's most groundbreaking electrical achievements. Think of it as a superhighway for clean power. And this highway runs straight to the heart of the capital. This means solar energy captured in the dry heat of the desert can power air conditioners, hospitals, factories, and even high-speed rail stations in Beijing, all without burning a single lump of coal. And this isn't a one-way street. Once the system is fully online, power will flow dynamically between regions. If demand spikes in Beijing, the desert responds. If the sun shines stronger in one part of Inner Mongolia, that zone sends more current. It's not just a solar farm, it's a smart, national-scale grid. China's goal? To make Beijing the world's first megacity sustainably powered by desert-based renewables. And the numbers are staggering. Once complete, this solar belt will deliver up to 100 gigawatts, enough to supply more than 80 million homes. And with Beijing's energy transition accelerating, the capital could soon rely primarily on remote solar and wind. This isn't a pilot, it's not a concept, it's already being built. And when the lights of Beijing shine at night, you might just be seeing desert sunlight delivered across mountains and plains at near the speed of light. The Solar Great Wall is more than a clean energy project. It's a symbol of transformation. A desert once seen as useless now powers a megacity. Sunlight is no longer wasted, it's weaponized. From fighting sandstorms to feeding a digital grid, this solar belt is China's message to the world. The future is renewable, scalable, and unstoppable. And while the world watches, China builds. Subscribe now, because in our next episode, we uncover how artificial intelligence is designing solar cities from orbit. This isn't just a solar project, it's the blueprint for tomorrow. If deserts can power cities, what else is possible? More mega projects, more AI-designed infrastructures, more climate breakthroughs are coming, and we're covering them all. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because in our next video, we explore a city built entirely by robots and why it might replace your job. The future doesn't wait, so why should you?